Hey, just Jerry here. So my son bought a house a couple of weeks ago, actually a couple of months ago, and he wanted to redo his kitchen and the cabinets, and he says, Dad, I want to rebuild the kitchen cabinets. My daughter-in-law said, no, you're going to buy them. So he didn't have time to do it, and it kind of set me down a huge rabbit hole. And I looked up a bunch of YouTube videos on how to build cabinets, and I was thinking, that's a lot of equipment. That's a lot of, $1,000 table saw, stuff like that, big shops. So what I did was, I set up a workshop outside here. It's got the spider table, the one that expands out. Got a piece of plywood and a piece of foam, and I'll show you that in a minute. But the biggest thing was, how do I solve the alignments, the drill jigs, stuff like that? So one thing I do have is a 3D printer. So I built these jigs to be able to use for drilling cabinet doors, for doing butt joints, for doing frames, even have some jigs for a handheld router. Alright, so two of the first jigs I did, and as you'll see, these are 3D printed jigs with metal inserts. They're bearing reducers. You've got drill guides. Now you can see, you do the tolerance tight enough, they just press in. So this one was one I started with. I also built a depth collar to be able to set the depth of the collar on my 1/4-inch bit. Put it in here, you loosen the collar, just put it down, tighten it up. Now I know what you're saying, you could probably just print one or use a piece of wood, drill the piece of wood to the depth, and then use it as your depth guide. Sure, but then you're going to lose it. This took me probably 10-15 minutes to print. It was 16 cents. Now if I lose this, all I have to do, just reprint another one. Alright, so the one I use this one for first, you see there's notches cut into it. That's for alignment. So I really didn't have a cross-cut table. Didn't want to go out and buy one. So went out and got some lumber. And this is a sled that I built with it. Now as you can see, there's lines across here. So I laid the boards flat, took a square, and just marked across all three pieces. Maybe I'll show you on, yeah, let me show you these two here. These were also 3D printed rails. So these are 3D printed rails. I attach one, put the saw in, I square this up, mount the first one, then I put the saw in, and push this one up against it, and then screw it in. So how did I align or attach these two pieces? So we got three pieces here. This is kind of a mini version of it. I want to take and I want to mount it like this or like this. You got to figure out which way you want to do it, but I'll show you how to do that first. So we're going to take our square, and then if you want to line them up with the ends here and here. Line them up here and here, and once you get it, you're just going to draw a line. Okay? You're going to be putting your dowel here and here. Now if I want to mount it this way, I'm going to take this 3D printed part here, and I'm going to put them between the two pieces. Okay? And I'm lining them up where the notch is. So the reason I do this is because I want to do this board to this face, this board to this face. So I'm going to take my drill gun that are preset. First one I'm going to do is line it up here. Get it lined up here. See the notch? I'm going to line it up there. I'm going to drill the hole. Then if I want it to go into this side of it here, I'm going to place it on this opposite side. I'm going to line up. Probably better see it that way. See how that notch on the top lines up? A little bit over. Then I'm going to drill this hole. Now I know a lot of people use the Craig pocket screws or whatever brand name you want to use. I don't mind them, but I just found that this was. As you can see, now I have a dowel in there, perfectly lined up. So that's how I ended up making the crosscut board. The sled. You see where I got the line. Then I just use that drill jig to drill a pocket or a dowel hole here on this board, and then this way. Then once I get it all together, you glue it up. This one is kind of the same thing, except you're going to use it on the smaller boards. This is if I want to do a frame for a kitchen sink or a kitchen counter. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to align this board, and this jig right here is going to go between them. Okay? Drill 2 holes, and then put on your 1/4 inch wood dowels and assemble them and glue them. Okay, so this jig and this jig are free downloads on my website. The others I'm still kind of prototyping. Speaking of prototyping, and actually inserts. So inserts, these are aluminum inserts. You can get them off of Amazon. I'll leave a link down below and on my website. These are aluminum, okay? I know Craig says he'd guarantee their inserts for life. These are aluminum. They're softer than brass, softer than stainless steel. Thing is, they're only about 50 cents, okay? If you go to stainless steel, they're going to be about $1 each. So if I lose this somewhere, I'm not really concerned. Speaking of prototyping, when I was prototyping these, I did have to take some apart. As you can see, this one cracked on the inside, so I had to pull it out, but I was able to save the inserts. Those were stainless steel. I wanted to save those. Another design, so it cracked here, so I had to remove all the reducer bushings. I have one around here that the dog actually got a hold of. So keep your dogs away from it. Of course, I have a German Shepherd outside, so I don't stand a chance on it. There you go. See where he got a hold of it? It's still usable, but okay, this material maybe $2 plus the inserts. And it depends on where you get your 3D printed material. It can be anywhere from $10 up to $30 a roll, depending on where you're getting it, and if you're buying in bulk. Okay, so those are the two that I've used so far the most. So I wanted to do, let's do this one. So let's say you have 2 boards, and you want to do a joint like that. Basically, and I'm not a woodworker, so butt joints, I know welding, I know metal, and I don't have any room in my garage because I have a pony in it. Not a real pony. Okay. So basically you line it up with this corner and that corner, and this one was already done, so I'm going to line this side with this side with this side, so you target A to A, B to B. And I saw somebody had done that with, they actually made some wood jigs. So yes, you can actually make these out of wood. These drill jigs, you're just going to drill like a 1/2 inch into the wood and then put the metal bushing into it. I did look up, you can get from McMaster Car, you can get the tungsten carbide, which will last you probably 10 lifetimes. The thing is, they're about 10 to 12 bucks each. And then I saw some that were up to like $42. So, I mean, you're talking public math here, 160 just in bushings for these 4. Okay, I'm not spending 160 on something I'm probably going to lose anyway. So how long will aluminum last? I don't know. I was going to do cabinets. I went with the aluminum. They do shave a little bit off, but not enough to, you know, be able to pop one out and get another one for 40 cents. I'll probably lose this thing before I have to replace it. Alright, so after I drill my holes, I put the pegs in it. There you go. Alright, so that's another kind of joint. I do have, these are offset, So I have 3, like if I'm doing the top of the cabinet with a stretcher, I'm going to mount it like this. Imagine the stretcher is going this way. The cabinet's lying on its side. This is going to be the stretcher going to the other side. I'm going to drill the 3 holes into this board, 3 holes into the stretcher, or the side in the stretcher, pound it in, glue it, you're good. Now the one thing is, you're going to have to get it right the first time. Some people assemble. I have not pre-assembled any of this. I did glue a lot of it up. So this is going to be for like making drawers, okay? The thing is with making drawers, I have to have the groove. I got to run the groove down for the bottom portion of it. So this is a piece I've been practicing with. And as you can see, grooves up the sides. And you see where I got the 2 holes on this end, 2 holes here. Once I get in the line, boom. And that one I use this one for. And this has bigger area so you can clamp it. I was having issues with it clamping. So on this side I don't have it grooved. I'll show you how to do the grooves. But it's the same thing. Clamp, clamp. And once you drill the holes, put the pegs in. And away you go. Now these grooves. This one was, I've seen lots of router table setups, and I didn't have a router table. I didn't want to build a router table, so I came up with something else. So I have my Dowels. I built a new base plate for it. I have the undersized 1/4 inch for the plywood that's going to go in there. This is going to set into this. And as you can see, it's going to be a little noisy here. This just slides over it. Okay. Turn it on. There you have your groove. Of course I get it. I gotta get something better to remove this. The old-fashioned screwdriver. Just get sawdust out. Well, okay. I'm going to do this the easy way. I'm just going to go backwards with it. Now this one doesn't matter if you go frontwards or backwards with it, because I have a guide on both sides. And I'll show you that on the other one. Rock it back and forth a couple times. Now what this jig does is it centers it, and this is the 3/4 inch wood. It might be 1 inch, but this gauge, the 2 side, is perfectly mounted, centered, so it puts that right down the middle of it. Now if you wanted to do like, I don't know, 1.5 inch wood, you have to go back and redesign it and you have to separate those out, but that will give you the center. No setup, nothing. Okay, so on the sides of the boards, let me show you a piece here that I did. When you use this jig, okay, if you can picture it, if I pull it towards me, okay, the bit's going to do what's a climb, and it's going to want to pull out, okay? So as I'm bringing this down, you can see, came down, came out, came down, slipped out. So on this one, you're going to want to push it away from you. Let's see, this one was much better on this side. So we're going to push it, and I'll put a groove right here. Another thing I like with this is I don't have to switch the setup. These are set to perfectly fit with this base. So I don't have to measure anything, I don't have to reset anything. Just set it up. Now I'm pushing away from you. That wasn't good. Actually, I'm going to use this piece here. Hopefully it's dry enough. The problem is I've left this wood sitting outside in Florida, which it's January in Florida. Still hot and muggy. I feel for the guys in North Dakota, Minot, Effie. I know how cold it got there trying to heat my garage up so I can even do work. And here I'm out in the Florida worried about humidity. Okay, set this back up. Yep. I have to leave that in there. You guys saw what I just did too, didn't you? I'm trying to clear the groove and I pulled it back towards me. Trying to get all the sawdust out. And this wood got a little wet. See when I pulled it back to me? I was trying to clear out all that sawdust, right out. Let's try another piece here so it's not as wet. Let's see if this one works. Alright, this time we're just pushing towards. Make sure this is settled into the base. Eventually I might put clamps on it. Been having pretty good luck with it without it, so we'll see. Alright, we're going one direction. Alright. Let's get it cleared out here. Now I gotta get some dry wood. There we go. There you see the groove. And that was just pushing one way. And you saw when I came backwards to try and clear it out, it ran off the side. Another thing about being outside that's good for sawdust collection. Goes right in the yard, fertilizer. Alright, so I've showed you, let me see, the two that I've got developed now for the router. That'll give you your groove, okay? And that'll give you straight down the center for doing drawers. Alright, this is another one that I have. Okay. So this one is for a shelf. I actually have to build something for my wife that has to have permanent shelves. So this is my jig for doing shelves. Again, you're going to place it between, draw a straight line. You're going to see the diamonds in there. You line those diamonds to the line all the way across. This one I didn't clamp, I just held it down. Drill your 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I want to mount it to this side, so I'm going to put this A to A, B to B. Make sure the line's here. Drill my 4 holes. And imagine this is a full shelf, but it's not because I'd be doing it on the opposite side. Pegs. Do your setup. It's almost like, and there you have it. So imagine that this is the side of a closet insert or a shelf. that this has to go down. So when you sort of have to glue and clamp it. But that gives you alignment and straightness and strength. Another thing you don't have is pocket holes. You don't have to figure out where I'm going to hide the pocket holes. Is it on this side, this side? Then you have to clamp it, you got to drill it, then screw it in. Whereas this, I find it a little bit easier. Then once you get everything together, like I said, don't glue up things. If I have something attached here, don't glue this down and then not be able to attach this. And I'll show you when I start making some cabinets. All right, another drill jig I did. Let's see, let me show you. So you have the inserts. So let's say this is the inside of a cabinet. I'm going to have a shelf here. Okay, I want holes going through here to be able to put a shelf. So I'm going to draw a line across two pieces. Let's do this piece here. This is going to be my start line. Okay. I see I lost my camera light, so I have horrible shadows. Okay, so then I can clamp it, and then drill. And that'll give me my pegs. And then for this side, I would take it without flipping it, do the same start line here, and then drill. So that way, when these two come together, I can do my shelf supports, the pegs, and put them in, or not the pegs, but the metal shelf supports. Alright, so let me know in the comments down below what you think. What should I work on next? Do another jig, build some cabinets, shelves. I'm looking at doing some for like a table or something. For the legs, you got the offset for the cross members. And yeah, jamesengine.com, and I'll put a link below for the Amazon inserts. I'll do the ones for the aluminum. Pretty easy to find the stainless steel ones too. I think the aluminum is better. It's a better option for as far as price wise. It's going to last as long as you need to do, I don't know, a whole kitchen worth of cabinets, and at 40 cents each, you can't beat them. Thanks. Let me know below.